You don't need to announce your every move. You don't need validation from people who aren't living your life. You are building something bigger, something stronger. And the best parts of it happen when no one's watching. Today, I'm going to teach you 6 ways to build yourself quietly so when the world sees you next, they won't even recognize you. Get ready because it starts with you deciding to play a different game. You don't need to announce your every move. You don't need to convince people you're working hard. You don't have to make noise every time you take a step forward. In fact, the most powerful growth you will ever experience happens in silence. It happens when no one is looking. It happens when nobody is clapping for you yet. And that's exactly how it should be. There is this pressure in today's world to constantly show everything. Every small achievement, every goal, every late night of hard work has to be shared like it's some kind of performance. And while sharing might feel good for a moment, it gives you a quick hit of approval. It does almost nothing for your real long-term success. In fact, it can take energy away from the very thing you're trying to build. When you start performing your growth instead of living it, you shift your focus from doing the actual work to being seen doing the work. And that is a dangerous trap. Real growth is messy. It's boring. It's repetitive. It's not pretty or exciting. It's long hours spent when nobody texts you, "Good job." It's working through doubts, through fear, through days when you feel like nothing's happening. And if you're too busy trying to make it look exciting to others, you rob yourself of the true power that happens when you work in peace. When you work in silence, you have power. You're not building based on other people's opinions. You're not changing your dreams to fit their approval. You're not needing applause to confirm your effort. You're doing it for the right reasons because it matters to you, because it's a reflection of who you want to become, not who you want to impress. And when you're in that state, you're dangerous in the best way. You're unstoppable because your engine is fueled from the inside, not the outside. The truth is, people don't really believe what you tell them anyway. They believe what they can see. They believe the results. They believe the change that is obvious. And when you build quietly, you allow those results to become so strong, so clear, that no one can deny your transformation. You won't have to convince anyone you're different. They'll see it. They'll feel it. It will be undeniable. And that's the kind of respect that lasts. Not the short-lived attention you get from shouting about your goals too early. Think about nature. The strongest trees, the tallest mountains, the deepest rivers, they don't announce themselves. They grow. They expand. They last. And when people finally see them, they're in awe. Not because those things yelled for attention, but because they stood quietly, growing into something remarkable. You are no different. You are building roots right now. Foundations. Strength that doesn't bend with every passing trend. Strength that's earned, not given. When you work in silence, you give yourself the space to fail privately too. To mess up without judgment. To try and fall and get up and try again without the pressure of a crowd watching every mistake. Growth needs that freedom. It needs room to be messy. It needs room to stretch beyond what's easy. And you can only do that fully when you're not performing for the world, but committed to yourself. The next time you feel the urge to tell everyone about your plans, pause. Ask yourself, am I looking for approval, or am I building something real? Real builders, real creators, real winners, they know the work is what matters. Not the noise, not the likes, not the comments. The work. Every single day you show up for yourself quietly. You stack bricks that no one can take away from you. You create momentum that doesn't depend on anyone else. You earn confidence the only way real confidence is built. Through action, through honesty, through repetition. At the end of the day, your growth is yours. Your goals are yours. Your future is yours. It doesn't belong to the people watching from the sidelines. It belongs to the version of you who decided to be consistent when it was hard, to stay focused when it was lonely, to trust the process when there was no applause. So stay quiet, stay committed, stay focused. Let them wonder, let them doubt, let them forget about you. It's better that way because when you finally arrive, when you finally show up with the results you've worked for, there won't be any need to explain yourself. Your results will say everything you could never put into words. We live in a world obsessed with feeling motivated. People chase that perfect quote, That perfect morning where everything clicks and they finally feel like doing the hard things. But here's the truth. No one tells you motivation is a liar. It shows up when it wants to, and it leaves the second things get uncomfortable. If you're relying on feeling motivated to build your life, you're already setting yourself up to fail. Discipline is the real superpower. Discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like doing it. It's waking up when the alarm goes off, not because you're excited, but because you promised yourself you would. It's sitting down to work, not because you're in the zone, but because you made a commitment. Discipline is quiet. It doesn't post itself online. It doesn't throw a party. It just gets the job done day after day when no one's clapping, when no one's even watching. Most people wait for the right mood. They think if they just get inspired enough, then they'll be able to push through. That's a lie your brain tells you to keep you comfortable. You have to flip the switch inside you where it's no longer about how you feel. It's about who you said you were going to become. Discipline is based on your identity. It's not about chasing emotions. It's about proving to yourself over and over again that you can trust your own word. And the thing about discipline, it starts with really small promises, tiny ones. If you say you're going to get up at 6, get up at 6. If you say you're going to write one paragraph, write one paragraph. It's not about massive leaps at first. It's about building a track record with yourself where you stop negotiating. You stop making excuses and you just do it. Every time you follow through on a promise, no matter how small, you are stacking evidence in your mind that you are disciplined. That evidence matters. It rewires your brain. It shifts your identity from someone who hopes to change to someone who expects to change. Discipline also means making peace with boredom. Because real growth isn't exciting. It's not fireworks every day. It's ordinary. It's repetitive. It's the same grind, the same practice, the same uncomfortable steps over and over again. Winners are not the people who found a way to stay hyped up. They are the ones who learned how to show up even when it got boring. If you can learn to fall in love with the repetition, with the simple act of showing up, you can build anything. You have to understand that your brain is always trying to take the easy way out. It's built for survival, not success. It's going to tell you that you deserve a break, that you've worked hard enough, that today doesn't matter. But discipline steps in and says, we do it anyway. Discipline isn't cruel. It's the ultimate act of self-respect. It's saying, I am worth the work. I am worth the effort. I am worth showing up for. Another thing no one tells you about discipline is that it's freeing. It's not about living some miserable, strict life. It's about creating a life where you are in control. Not your feelings, not your distractions, not your fear. When you are disciplined, you don't have to waste energy deciding every day whether you're going to do the work. The decision has already been made. You just execute. That's where freedom lives. Freedom is not doing whatever you feel like. Freedom is having the power to do what's necessary even when you don't. There will be days when it feels harder than others. There will be days you want to quit. That's normal. That's part of it. But if you stay loyal to your discipline instead of your feelings, you will break through barriers that used to stop you dead in your tracks. You will see yourself doing things you once thought were impossible, not because you found some magical motivation, but because you refused to break your word to yourself. Think about the people you admire most. The ones who seem unstoppable. The ones living lives you dream about. They aren't more talented than you. They aren't luckier. They aren't waiting for motivation. They are disciplined. There's a reason why people say consistency beats intensity. You don't need to sprint for a few days, burn out, and then crash back to where you started. That's not real progress. That's chasing a feeling. Real progress looks boring most of the time. It's doing the same small actions over and over. Trusting that even when the results are invisible today, you're planting seeds that are guaranteed to grow. The truth is, discipline with small habits is a form of self-respect. When you decide you're going to do something, no matter how tiny it seems, and you follow through, you send a message to yourself, I can trust me. And that trust builds up. Every small promise kept is a brick laid in the foundation of your future self. Miss enough of those bricks and your future self has nothing to stand on. If you want to change your life, don't start by trying to move mountains. Start by moving a single stone every day. Start by waking up 15 minutes earlier. Start by drinking 1 extra glass of water. Start by setting one simple goal for the day and hitting it. These small victories create momentum, and momentum is powerful. Momentum transforms your identity. Before you know it, you're no longer someone who's trying to be disciplined. You are consistent. You are building. And here's the magic most people miss. When you master small habits, it doesn't stay small. You evolve. Your capacity increases. What once felt like a stretch becomes automatic.